Yeah, good afternoon here from the Hobart Aquatic Centre, Don Kennedy Centre here in Hobart. We've got game 1-4-1, South Africa playing black against Turkey, playing white in court 1. South Africa on the log lying 6, and Turkey is lying at the first position here. Very good position for Turkey, obviously having not lost one game and only conceded 2 goals. So very good track record here for Turkey, being the existing world champs and are here to defend their title. I'm going to run through the teams. We've got Lorcan Slubbert, Richard O'Farrell, Elma Salia, Zinzan Paik, Elrich Engelbrecht, JP de Toy, Eckhart Engelbrecht, Derek Fitzgerald, Cameron Stephen, and the coach, Hendrik Mouton. And let's try the Turks as we have 45 seconds to go. Koshkon, Mert, Amer, Ismail, Sadaten, Ahmet, Mertikan, Bedrihan, Mustafa, Koshkon, Sina, Mert, and the coach, Kardi Kirlogio. And with 30 seconds to go in court 1, South Africa will definitely see what they can do here. As we know, it's a tough game with only 9 players in the team, with South Africa playing black against Turkey playing white. I'm sitting in the commentating room watching the court. South Africa will be playing in front of me, right to left, with a lot of monitors going, and the sun coming out here in Hobart as we had a good downpour this morning. It was good to have some fresh rain, very cool breeze blowing, even though the sun is shining. We've got some a cool breeze going, and 10 seconds to go in this game. A lot of spectators in the pavilion, a lot of activity taking place as tomorrow the playoffs start. And there they go. Let's see as we have the kickoff here. And the South Africans are up to it, and the Turks swim straight hard at the South Africans, playing to the far side of the pool. A lot of bodies at the bottom. As we know, these Turks, they're not afraid of any physical game. Their stature and their physique is absolutely fantastic, as we have infringement against the Turks here early in the game. Turks playing white against South Africa playing black on the far side of the pool. Obviously, the refs have been asked to watch for off the puck infringements. And down they go on the far side of the pool. South Africa against the Turks. And they're still in the Turks half here, and the Turks pushing South Africa back. And unfortunately, we couldn't capitalize on that infringement. Still moving. And what's one thing we see a lot in this tournament is the advantage that the refs are playing just to get some movement in the game and get some flow going, and as that helps, as a lot of these people train year in, year out, and they don't want to play stop-go games. South Africans are pushing hard there on the far side of the pool. And they've got to defend there, as we see the Turks are on the goals there of South Africa. South Africa will have to get bodies down the bottom, as we see number 8, Elrich Engelbrecht, number 5, Alma Salia going down. The Turks bringing it out to the middle of the pool, trying to straighten it up. Good swing there by South Africa, and a small little jinx as they try and create space. A good swim there by the South Africans, taking the puck out. Unfortunate infringement against South Africa on their goal box. Number 4 there, Richard O'Farrell, just adjusting his mask as we have a quick substitution taking place. Number 10 there, JP Dodoy taking up his position. And South Africa need to protect their goals here. Down they go. And the Turks coming hard at them. Straight to the goal box. And the South Africans are staying down. It's good to see bodies at the bottom. Hard swim. And unfortunately, South Africa just can't keep them out. It's all, as the Turks get, the Turkish team gets the puck on their stick, they just get their legs to start motoring forward, and a goal for Turkey. Number 11, and number 11 is Koshkan Orkan Vural from Turkey, scoring the goal in the 3rd minute of the first half. And let's see what the South Africans have got up their sleeve here, as they will have to get all their trump cards going with only 9 players, asking a lot of the South African team, and they'll play for pride and glory and not allow the Turks just to run over them. South Africa has got to look after their position, and the Turks a beautiful jinx there, just going drawing the player to the outside and a quick swerve to the inside as the Turks take it up on the far side of the wall. And just to give you some stats, the Turkish players have scored 45 goals and only conceded 2 goals. So if Africa can score a goal here, it'll be good for them. And number 11 going down, Eckhart Engelbrecht, the JP de Toy infringement against the Turks on the far side of the pool, stick infringement. We've got some excellent players here. I'm not sure how many of these Turkish players played under 23 in Spain when they won gold. But obviously the Turkish taking underwater hockey very, very seriously, as they came second last in the World Championships in the Elite League. Ulrich Engelbrecht, number 8, obviously asking the refs just to look out for some infringements, as we know that these players do a lot of, they try to do off the puck infringement, meaning slowing somebody down, just dropping their shoulder, just slowing somebody down when he's got a breakaway, and he's actually looking at their gloves or their sticks. Let me see. It's right in front of us here in the court. I'm just trying to look through the monitors what the refs are looking for. It looks like one of the South African players might have complained about something hard in their on their snorkels, and they've got to be soft bending snorkels, and we don't want any cuts on any bodies here. And South Africa have got the advantage puck on the far side of the pool as they swim it up, and they keep their bodies down at the bottom. Very committed here, very organized 2 teams, and infringement being allowed as we see the players coming up here. Let me see what the call was. Infringement against the Turkish player with Richard O'Farrell, number 4, and number 11, Eckhart Engelbrecht against the wall there, the halfback. Number 4, Richard, a very fast player, and Eckhart, a very strong player, and they'd like to work it up on the side of the wall and then bring it in, as we have a quick swimmers like Cameron Stephen and Alma Salir would love to have their puck coming onto their sticks and just accelerating and just showing their speed here and putting some pressure on the Turkish players. We have a lot of bodies down at the bottom, and it's good play there by South Africa, working up on the side of the pool with 5 minutes gone in the first half, and the Turkish players obviously leading 1-0 against South Africa. The Turkish players are playing in white, South Africa in black, and South Africa swim hard to the goal box. Oh, excellent save there. Unfortunately for South Africa, they just couldn't capitalize on that excellent situation they were in. And South Africa will come back to the position they were in. And Ulrich turning, trying to get he pulls a Turk player and he keeps on playing. And we see Derek, one of those small players, one of the lightest players, probably half the weight of Eckhart, but he plays incredible good hockey as the Turkish players swim hard into the South African corner, putting pressure on South Africa with 9 minutes left in the first half, working it up the wall, and Ulrich just keeping his body at the bottom, committing. It's very difficult there, not gloving. Team warning against South Africa, gloving, and South Africa need to keep down here, keep their cool, make sure they don't allow the Turkish players to swing the puck there in front of the goal, as we have a team timeout called by South Africa, just to give the guys a break and just say, guys, well done there. You nearly scored a goal, and good play, as we have JP de Toy, the vice captain, just talking there to the team as well, and Henry Mouton, well-known South African coach and swimming coach in South Africa from the Western Cape. Just tell the players just to calm down. You're doing well. Keep on swimming, and as soon as you get the puck, don't lose possession, as you don't want to give the puck away. You're working so hard to get the puck. Ulrich Engelbrecht, number 8, number 12 there on the cap. Derek Fitzgerald, all the way from KZN, his sisters playing in the under 23 ladies team. And then 23 ladies team doing very well here. They're lying second, and all the South Africans will need to go down and stay down and swim it out, as we see the Turks going down, and the bell goes, the buzzer goes, and the Turks are being played out to the outside of the wall. Excellent play by South Africa as they swim it out to the side of the pool, and a good interception there as a Turkish player just gets underneath the body, and unfortunately for South Africa, the Turkish players, they just keep on going. They just keep on going Well played there, South Africa. A good save as they were on the fringe of the goal box. And the South African players, fortunately, they could get their stick on the puck and swim it out to the far side of the pool. As we see another bodies going down. The ref in a very good position here as they looking for any infringement with another ref there on the side of the pool there playing advantage puck. Ref number 4. Each ref has got a ref number on his cap so he can be identified as they like feedback from the players after a game and all of them trying to improve their calls as the Turkish players are coming hard at South Africa with 8 minutes left in the first half. We're playing up on the side of the wall and the infringement called against South Africa. Unfortunately for South Africa, a lot of pressure on them now. And some of the players still playing underneath. They obviously didn't hear the buzzer going. Well, the score could have been 1-0 there. South Africa unfortunately couldn't capitalize on the fact that they were right on the fringe of the Turkish goal box. And they're going down again. The Turkish have the advantage puck, swimming it hard to the side of the goal box here on South Africa's left-hand side. Yeah, excellent play by the Turks as they just give a small little jinx, draw 2 players, and they just swing it to the left-hand side, and in the puck goes. Excellent play by the Turkish players. In that position, it's very difficult to defend a well-machined, oiled team like we see the Turkish here. They've brought a different dimension to hockey. Very organized, disciplined team. Very neat physique. They're very, very strong. And off we go with 7 minutes to go in the first half. South Africa swimming hard. They'd like to get the possession and play in the Turkish half. Sima Dimitriou scoring that goal there. The second goal for the Turkish players. We're still in the first half. South Africa playing black against the Turkish. Obviously they're in white. Not one serious infringement as we have all 12 players in the water. Good to see that as we've seen that the Turkish players have been probably the most, the team sitting on the side the most there, unfortunately for Zinzan Paik. Infringement against him. Just as he was getting momentum, number 5 there as Elmar Shalia just motivating Zinzan, just saying to him, stay calm, stay focused. And the Turkish players going down again. Number 5, Elmar Shalia going down as we see on the side of your screen. And we've got a good breakaway here. Unfortunately, very little support from South Africa. I think could have been Elmar or Cameron swimming away from his players, putting a lot of pressure on the Turkish player, but the Turkish player just absorbing it. Very cool and collective and just swimming it to the side of the pool. You can see that Turkish player, there was no pressure on him as it was one-on-one. And he could absorb it and just swim it to the side. The Turkish players are playing a very good game here. They're just absorbing, and allowing the South Africans to come to them and not get under any pressure as we see the ref making a call there, allowing a lot of advantage. And I think that could be again the Turks, yes. Unfortunately for the Turkish player, unfortunately for South Africa, infringement against the Turkish players. Good position for South Africa. And a Turkish player swimming back very slowly. If South Africa could get the puck down the bottom and capitalize on the fact that the Turkish players aren't down there. Let's see there as South Africa playing on the far side of the pool, trying to work it up on the side. A lot of bodies committed there to see if they can get the puck to come out. Playing advantage for South Africa. And we have ref number 21. Calling infringement against South Africa. Barging, obstruction, unfortunately for them. Number 11, one of our stronger players. Very physical, strong, big legs, 116 kilograms. But against the Turks, that's not a lot as they they don't stand back for anybody. Beautiful draw there, just a small little swirl of the body, and unfortunately the Turkish player capitalizing on the fact that the South Africans are playing backwards with a quick puck movement into the inside of the pool. South Africa under extreme pressure here as we see Akkad swimming hard up on the inside of the pool, and good save there by South Africa. Excellent save, and unfortunately the puck comes out, no bodies at the bottom, and another goal there for player number 11, Koshkan, again Koshkan Orkan Viral. So that is a player that we need to watch as he scored his second goal of the game, the third of the match. 4 minutes left in the first half, and the Turkish haven't called the time out yet. Very organised team this. And South Africa take the hard kick off here. Let's see if they can get the puck to the puck first. Very equal. The Turkish players come through the middle and they keep on swimming. You can see those legs just kicking, and making sure they get speed behind the puck. As the South Africans move up again. The South Africans are doing very well here. They just can't capitalize on the breakaways. There's a big flick comes there from a Turkish player. Is that a stop to the play? Yeah. Stop and play as we have infringement, stick infringement called. South Africa were in a good position there. We just need to see if we can get some support going. And yeah, with 2 minutes to go, 2.5 minutes to go, team timeout called by the Turkish coach, Kadir Kirilagio, calling a timeout and just saying to them, probably, well done, team. Just take a breather. Focus on your skills. Well done that you haven't given a serious infringement as well. As I said, the Turkish players earlier in this tournament, they've already been sitting on the side for 48 minutes. And like I said, if these Turkish players can have and stay 6 players in the water, they will definitely be a team that will go through to the top 4 as they're lying right on top of the log with New Zealand 2nd, Colombia 3rd, France 4th, Australia 5th, South Africa 6th, Great Britain 7, Argentina 8, United States 9, and Canada 10. 10 players in this league. All full house. And the South Africans are on the attack as they get the advantage puck. A small little pull back of the puck. Beautiful acceleration again. And the South Africans, unfortunately, giving away the puck as they got lots of pressure on them, playing to the far side of the pool. And the game is still continuing as we see the players committing their bodies, trying to get movement, trying to get space. With 3 minutes to go, loving infringement against the Turkish players as number 5 obviously showing something that he has seen, trying to show the ref what they must do, but obviously the refs won't be intimidated by number 5 there. Sadetin Ibrahim Genkil. South Africa will then play up against the wall and try and stay there and see if they can't just pull some Turkish players in before they create the opening. Number 13 there, Cameron Stephen going down for South Africa. South Africa committed 2 players between the Turkish defense. And let's see what they're trying to create there as we see bodies in the bottom of the far side of the pool. Looks like the Turkish players absorbed the pressure, came away with speed, and another infringement against the Turkish players. Stick infringement and body blocking, so not allowing the South Africans movement. Must be quite frustrating for the South Africans as they're trying to create movement, trying to create space. And we see a substitution here on the South African side coming in very quickly. With only 9 players in the water, their substitutes have to rotate very quickly to make sure they got fresh legs in the water. Bodies committed down the bottom of the pool. Ref on a very good possession there. As we see the South Africans pushing hard here with 1 minute 50 seconds to go. Very evenly matched game this territory-wise, but not score-wise, as South Africa is 3-0 behind, having had opportunities, and unfortunately couldn't convert that into a score. But with goals against them, only 2 to score against this well-oiled machine is going to be very difficult. And another infringement here against number 11, the goal scorer, Koshkan. Looking for number 11. Number 11, 1 minute. Having scored 2 goals. Obviously, he's a very committed player. These Turkish players are in a very good physical condition. And at the back there, we see Abigail just taking a breather. Or Angie from Australia just taking a breather there on the bench. Good to see the South Africans committing themselves. Unfortunately, they break right through the middle there. And South Africa have to fall back very quickly with 47 seconds to go. And see, that's what the Turkish players do. When they've got the opportunity, they've got numbers. They just make sure that when you're on your back foot, they just keep on swimming. And South Africa, fortunately, they got possession of the puck. As we had the Turkish players in a very good position here. And the South Africans don't want to concede a goal on half-time. And excellent save there by South Africa. These Turkish players, it looks like they're 10 players in the water. You think there's just one, and all of a sudden they're 2, 3 on top of you, so you've got to keep your composure. And another wave coming, and a good save there by South Africa with 10 seconds to go, 9 seconds to go. South Africa will be very happy with that save. Corning against South Africa, and that'll be half-time. And the game, 1-4-1. Turkey against South Africa in Court 1 in the Doon Kennedy Aquatic Centre here in Hobart. And we can see the sun is coming out. Linda and myself just went for lunch on the park here. Even though the sun is out, it was still very, very fresh. Nice and cool and fresh day we have here in Hobart. We've had a wonderful time, and the hospitality, as we've said earlier, has just been exceptional. We see Bram Botha just bringing all the nutrients and rehydrates, and the players, obviously, you can see there, all of them standing on the platform just wanting to rest their legs. The reason why they're there, obviously, is to refresh themselves and listen to the coaches. Having a 3-minute break. Usually the first few seconds, they just allow the players just to settle themselves and take a deep breath, and then start talking to them. We see these Turkish players listening to their coach, all their eyes on their coach, listening intensively, as you'll probably try different moves and see what they can do. As we know that the Turks will go through to definitely to the top 4 and probably play in the other quarters, semi. They'll definitely play quarters, semis, and then the finals. And having them in this league, as I said, only one team of the Turkish country in this league, and that's under 23 team, men team. No under 19s, no women. And we saw that in South Africa last year, where we only had the elite men team entering. And we got all the players listening. It's good to see the players looking at the coach and not looking around and waving to mommy and daddy in the pavilion. Number 4, Richard O'Farrell. 7, Zinzan Paik shaking his head. Yes, yes, yes. And we got Elmas Alia, number 5. And we see number 2 here, Lorcan Slubbert. Number 8, Elrich. Number 10, JP. Good sign. They're just trying to get their spirit up. And JP, the vice captain, listening here to what the coach giving him some advice here. JP staying in Pretoria, but studying at the University of Stellenbosch down in the Western Cape. As we have 35 seconds to go before we have kickoff and the start of the second half. Looking through the window in the engine room here, in the commentating room, I can see the South Africans looking positive. They want to play, they want to score against a well-oiled machine. And a half 5 there between Elrich and Derek Fitzgerald. Good camaraderie in this team. Excellent team spirit. And let's see who takes the kickoff. As I said, we've only got 9 players, but that doesn't mean they can't score. And it's 5 seconds to go in the second half. And these players will be committed to play 15 minutes of good, clean hockey. And Brahman Engelbrecht, hello my vrou, goeiemorgen. I see you on the TV there, on the monitor. Good to see you following your sons. And probably having a cup of coffee as it's 6 o'clock in South Africa. Having the commentary all to myself. I can probably talk some Afrikaans. Lekker, goeiemorgen. Dit gaan goed met al die kinders hier so. Die meisies doen baie goed. Suid-Afrika onder 19 seuns ongelukkig verloor teen Australië, maar dit sal nie terugbring. Hulle speel vanmiddag teen Frankryk en ons almal gaan hulle ondersteun. And as we have infringement against number 8, the body blocking, unfortunately that's against Elrich Engelbrecht, the captain, and he will have to sit on the side for 2 minutes, and we can't afford that, Elrich. Hopefully he's packed his lunch and his tea, as you will have to sit for 2 minutes. You can just see the physical condition of these boys. They've all trained very, very hard for this tournament. And South Africa will be 5 players in the water. Very difficult to keep these Turks out now. This is the first serious infringement for 2 minutes for South Africa to have somebody sitting out on the side, and down they go. And the Turks are just coming wave after wave, and that'll be a goal. Right in the back of the tray. Good flick. Picked up by the refs. Excellent play there. Again, number 11, Koshkan. Again, I think that's his. It's a hat trick for him in this match so far, having scored 3 of the 4 goals, with 2 minutes gone in the second half. Turkey leading 4-0 against Africa. Well done there to the Turks. As we have Ulrich Engelbrecht sitting on the side. Number 4 here, not feeling so well. Obviously, must have had a small little bump against somebody. And he's touching his shoulder as well there, as we have a good kick-off by the Turks, flicking it hard to the right-hand side. A good follow-up. Unfortunately, South Africa, they could get possession of the puck, swimming it up on the far side of the pool. A lot of bodies committed there. The South Africans need to stay close, and they need to make sure they keep possession. Just slow down the game a bit. And when they have the movers on, they need to kick very hard and keep moving. And on the far side of the pool, we have the South African players. Most of the match in the second half has been in South Africa's half. And the South Africans need to look after the puck here, as we have the Turks hard on the attack, swimming straight through. Unfortunately for the Turkish players, even though they had 2 players at the bottom against the 1 South African player, they cause an infringement, and we have infringement against the Turkish players with South Africa. It looks like after this move, Ulrich will be back in the water, and that'll be good to know. And South Africa's swimming hard to the substitution side, as they want to be here, as we can get fresh legs in. And let's see if Ulrich, there at the back, you can see Ulrich coming in, committing himself immediately to the game. He loves to get involved. He loves hockey, as all these other players do. And he's got the puck. And the Turkish player just gets it away from him, swimming straight to the goal box. And he turns, and the Turkish player is following up. Let's see what the infringement was against the Turkish player, gloving. Very difficult to get away with infringement, as we have 3 top quality refs in the water. Ref number 9 here, seeing the infringement, or was number 10, I'm not sure. And as they go down here, no Turkish player can get over that vantage line, which they draw, the imaginary vantage line. South Africans playing up against the side of the wall here. Cameron Stephen and Derek Fitzgerald trying very hard there. The Turkish player just jinks past the back of South Africa. Cameron still down at the bottom, waiting patiently. And he needs to go and help at the back, as the puck didn't come out. And the ref just gets some assistance there from the side of the pool, just to pull himself forward, get himself into a better position. A hard swim here, all up the side, straight to the goal box. And let's see if we can keep this one out. Excellent play there by the South African defense. Excellent play there, as we see another hard attack on the South African goals. 3-0 was the halftime score. As we see number 4 there, Richard O'Farrell swimming out, getting fresh legs in. That looks like Eckhard Engelbrecht coming in. And let's see if he can use his skill to get the puck moving. Look at that Turkish player, just not allowing the South African player any time. You've got to be so quick. And the Turkish player is coming back into the corner here. Number 13, Mert Dogan, and swimming hard here. And Eckhart working it up. But these Turkish players flicking such a big flick. And to stop that wave, excellent play by South Africa. That flick was onto the stick with speed from behind. And fortunately for South Africa, Zinzan Paik got his stick onto the puck and swam it straight to the corner. And South Africans are trying to work it up on the far side with 6 minutes gone in the first half. Very physical game this. I can imagine the South Africans being exhausted here with only 9 players in the water. Number 12 from, looks like number 12 from the Turkish players asked to go and sit on the side and take a breather. And number 13, that is Mert Dogan, asking to go and have a breather and just calm down. Look at the upper body, big shoulders, big chest. Slightly overweight there, but that doesn't stop them. As these players are, the weight seems to be good for them, as they are very committed, hard-playing hockey players. Let us see what the infringement was there. This could be a timeout. Yeah, somebody called a timeout. It looks like the South Africans called a timeout with Henry Mouton Swimming over to the far side, turning the game, boys. Now it's your opportunity. We have Zinzan, Eckhart, Ulrich, Richard, JP, and Lorcan in the water here. Good combination, South Africa. Good position. Work it up the side there as we have the puck called against the Turks, and South Africa will take it up. No South African player between the Turks, as they could have somebody in that position, but they decided to have a drive here with all 6 players behind the puck, and they've got a move going here. It looks like Hendrik made the good call here, as the South Africans are winning meters, and they keep on swimming, and they've made a lot of meters here, as we can see the Turkish player on the side of the pool there, screaming and shouting, for supporting his players. And the Turkish players got the good breakaway here. Unfortunately for South Africa, the South Africans will have to work very, very hard here. A huge flick, and well picked up by the South African players. And the Turkish have the advantage here. Advantage play against South Africa, as we saw a huge flick coming in. Stick infringement against South Africa, called by ref number 21 with 8 minutes to go. And South Africa, fortunately, they kept it out, but it seems like they kept it out illegally. All 6 players will go down, and the Turkish players decide to stay behind the advantage line and not go and lie in the box of South Africa, as I saw they do previously, as they will drive it hard up, and a big flick there from a Turkish player. And there's a lot of bodies down there, 4 or 5 bodies down there, 6 with the ref. As you see those fins kicking, taking it out. And let's see what the infringement was for. Gloving, penalty. Penalty for obviously deliberate gloving, not doing it on purpose, but deliberate gloving, and rightfully in that position, very difficult to keep the puck out. And we have all the players except 2 Turkish players. You will take the goal, and 1 South African player, Ulrich Engelbrecht. Let's see what's going to happen here as they all go down, and a huge flick into the back of the goal box. Very difficult to save that. And the Turks are up 5-0 with player number 5. Thank you, Ismail Sarikaya, scoring another goal for the Turks, and they're up 5-0. There was a lot of pressure there. We thought that the goal would have been scored earlier already, but a good defense by South Africa, and they just couldn't keep them out. And the Hobart Aquatic Centre, beautiful facility with the sun shining brightly, as we had thunderstorms early in this morning, and the Turks going down hard, and they want to keep possession. They want to get the kick-off. Yeah, you can see the Turkish players were first onto the puck. South Africa pushing them to the side. With only conceding 2 goals against them, the Turkish players are doing very, very well in this tournament, having not lost 1 game. And the South African players playing on the far side of the pool. Let's see if they can get into a better position. And let's see now, who's out. Is that again Ulrich? Ulrich out again, asking a question, but obviously the ref not listening. And Ulrich, yeah, is that your refreshment next to the side of the pool there? And Ulrich doesn't want to be there. He likes to play hockey. Unfortunately, he needs to sit on the side, so he's been out now for 4 minutes. And we have 5 players in the water. Unfortunately, we couldn't see the infringement as well the far side of the pool, but having 3 pairs of eyes, the Turkish players will just swing it wide, create space, create the overlap, with South Africa only having 5 players in the water. Good hard swim there by South African number 10, Derek Fitzgerald. And a stick infringement against us, the Turkish player. As we have Henry Maton asking his players just to keep their composure, keep focused. JP Detoy, number 10, will take over the captaincy of the players in the water. And it's a advantage back for South Africa. The Turkish players coming hard onto them, not allowing them any space. And South Africa would like to stay on this side of the pool and not create the opening with 5 minutes, 40 seconds to go. And a good pick up there by the South African player, swimming very hard between the 2 Turkish players. Just shows you what speed can do. And there's another interception there. It looked like it was a Zinzan. Good interception. Infringement against the Turkish player, number 12. No, it was number 12, Derek Fitzgerald, showing what skill can do. Number 10 there, JP de Toy, asking his players to just commit themselves a bit more. Elrich taking a break there. So we got 5 players in the water, 3 in the substitution box, and 1 on the Sinbin. And South Africa playing it up in the middle of the pool. We've got the Turks playing hard, swinging it wide. They want to create the overlap as they have 1 extra player over South Africa. With South Africa only 5 in the water. Very good player from South Africa with 5 players in the water. Not allowing the Turks to get their stick onto the puck. And they're playing advantage here. The Turkish player seems to have swum straight through. Oh, yes. Just kept on swimming. And no goal. They were playing advantage, so obviously something happened there on the way to the goal box. Ref number 21 calling for a ref timeout. And ref cap number 29 having a discussion, asking, and who do we have there? Another ref, I can't see his number, but obviously, yeah, a call against the Turkish player. The goal won't be allowed. It won't make any difference. It'll just be for pride and honor that South Africa is playing now, as we have a 30-minute ref timeout here, 30 seconds going. South Africa will be pleased to see that Elrich has been getting prepared to get back into the water here, as they swim hard and straight at the Turks, bringing it out to the substitution side, swimming straight to the side of the pool here. Good swim there by South Africa, and the Turkish players just not allowing South Africa any space. As we've seen, I think we've only been in the Turkish half for one move in this whole half, with 4 minutes to go. South Africa want to get out of this position, and they'll be back to 6 players in the water. Early break there by the Turkish players, infringement, encroachment, and we have South Africa getting an advantage back in the middle of the pool. A hard swim and a hard drive there, and the Turkish players just absorbing it, swimming straight through. That's a goal. That'll be a goal. 2 players against 1, swimming straight through. Unfortunately, Zinzan could not save that move, as we had 2 Turkish players coming down on Zinzan and just accelerating. It was a close call there, Zinzan. You nearly saved it, unfortunately, for South Africa. Another goal for number 6, Zadetin Ibrahim Jenkil. Number 11 not scoring this time, as he really has a hat-trick, allowing the other players to score now. 6-0, 3 minutes to go. And the South Africans listening to the buzzer in court 2, thinking it was their buzzer to go. And off they go with 3 minutes to go in the second half. South Africa want to play in the Turkish half. They're going down 6-0. South Africa don't want to concede another goal. Let's see if we can get the puck and get some movement here. We've seen some excellent play earlier in the match from South Africa, playing in the Turkish half and having an opportunity to score earlier on. And the Turkish players going down with the infringement being called here by ref number 21. And that's against the Turkish players. Stick infringement against number 3. And that is Mert Errol, who will have a 1-minute cool down in the Sinbin. And South Africa will need to capitalize on this with 2 minutes, 12 seconds to go. In the last 2 minutes of this match, with any infringement except being a goal being scored, the stopwatch will stop. 2 minutes, 4 seconds to go, and South Africa working it up hard. And they're coming straight to the goal box here with looks like the infringement there against a Turkish player for stick infringement. Number 12, 4 players in the water. Like we earlier said, it's not uncommon for the Turkish players to sit on the side and only having 3, 4 players in the water. You can see the physical condition of these players, big upper body strength, looking relaxed there, not really fussed, as they know the 4 players in the water will make them proud. South Africa need to capitalize on this situation, and we have a timeout called with a 3rd player coming out. So he must have back chatted or must have said something. And we have 3 players in the water, 3 outside, a good position for South Africa to score a goal against the Turks, and they have only conceded 2 goals, and let's see if South Africa can capitalize on that. As we have Hendrik Mouton also swimming into the pool, talking to his players. Number 8, Elrich. Number 12, Derek Fitzgerald. Number 7, Zinzan Paik. And these players are now focusing very hard. They need these Turkish players. You'll see if we have a shot of the camera onto the Turkish players, you'll see they keep their composure. They don't show they're under pressure. 3 players in, number 2, 13 and 4. Let's see what they can do against the South African 6. With just over 1 minute and a few seconds to go. South Africa will go down hard on the Turkish players. As we see the South Africans coming and the Turkish players swimming it immediately to the side of the pool, trying to get possession, trying to get movement. South Africa has still got possession here. An infringement against. Let's see, a frantic call against equal puck. First equal puck of the match. And as you see, the stopwatch counting down 15 seconds. That the game has been stopped. The big stopwatch is not counting down because it's the last 2 minutes of the match. Match number 1, 4-1, South Africa against Turkey, and the Turkish are still keeping the puck out. 3 players in the water against the South African 6 players. And the South Africans need to score. Yeah, unfortunately, the Turkish players, they just keep their composure and they just keep on playing. And they overcommit themselves. They just push their bodies to the limits. We've seen that before with 1 minute, 22 seconds to go in the first and the second half. The Turkish players just using all their skills. And they're just rolling it. And let's see what the infringement is there. Corner rule, meaning that the first player takes the puck into the corner and the second player coming in must take the puck out of the corner, must take it out 1 meter of the corner, and an infringement against the Turkish players with 4 players now back in the water. And South Africa must be careful not to overcommit and allow opening at the back, as these Turks can easily also score from this situation. As you see them swimming straight down the middle of the pool, South Africa bringing it out wide, and hopefully they can straighten it up early enough. As we see them tapping hard on the bottom of the surface, calling for the puck to come back, as we have all the Turkish players back in the pool again. And we have 2 Turkish players at the bottom and the South African coming in. Look at these Turkish players. They've got enough time. They've got enough breath. They just keep it there. No problem. They'll just have the stopwatch ticking down. And that, interesting that it looked like it was another corner infringement here. But the Turkish players get away with it as they swim up the side of the pool, playing hard against the South African players with 24 seconds to go. Ref number 29 there in a very good position to see any infringement as the Turkish players come back hard against South Africa. And number 12, Derek Fitzgerald, needs to save the moment for South Africa. And we've got another infringement here, and you'll see the stopwatch stopping with 6 seconds to go. And South African player going out again here. Obviously, Ulrich not very popular with the refs here as he goes out for another minute, and he won't rejoin this match. Well, you've got good shots of you, Ulrich, getting out. You'll see he's very despondent. He can't understand it, as he's really trying to play right, trying to get the good move going. With 1 second to go, that is it. The Turks have won the match 1-4-1 against South Africa, full time. 6-0 game, 1-4-1. Well played to Turkey. And we wish them all the best for the rest of the tournament. And South Africa will take this loss and they will come back. And thank you for the people back home there, Bronwyn, Willem Zelstra. Willem, I've tried to pronounce some of the Turkish names. And Gary Rosewarn and Gary and Willem and all the guys there watching the game on the live chat. Thank you very much and have a good day in South Africa. Cheerio, bye. We have Elrich Engelbrecht here after game 1 for 1 South Africa playing against the Turkish under 23 machine. Elrich, how was that?
It was a hard game. We got reminded. Some of our players played in 2015 against the Turkish team, and the Turkish team, they're strong as always. You can see that they've come back to defend their title. It was a strong, hard game, and I wish them the best of luck onwards.
Thank you, Elrich. You guys were very close against the Turkish at certain stage in the game, but you could see their defense that they only conceded 2 goals in this whole tournament.
Yes, they play very well off the puck. They know how to play the other players as well. Not necessarily illegally, just how to activate a lot of aggression in the team and thus taking attention away from the puck, rather pulling the other team away. Their defense is iron hard.
Yeah, well, all credit to the Turkish teams who's playing a very well tournament and bringing a different dimension to hockey.
Different, yes. I wouldn't call it a good different, but let's just call it different.
Well, take it. Well done to the Turkish team. Thank you, Elrich. And we have number 11 here, the vice captain.
Hi.
Yes, I saw you. I think you scored 3 goals.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. That guy doesn't like our game style.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, the tournament is just starting for us right now with the quarter and semi-finals and finals. We hope to win the tournament again.
Yeah, the Turkish players have definitely brought a different dimension to underwater hockey. You guys are not standing back for any team.
Yeah, we're training really hard. We are trying to be the best one in the fitness level. So that's the main key to our success, I think.
Yeah, we wish you all the best and all the best for the 2 games to come.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank you. Well played.